Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sweatfest. It is the Singapore Grand Prix. Thankfully for me, not as hot in the office as it is in the cockpit around this track. 30 plus degrees at night, 90+% humidity, and 60 degrees in the cockpit for the drivers. They tend to lose 5 or 6 kilos throughout the course of a whole Grand Prix just in pure sweat. It is a monstrous physical challenge around this circuit IRL, and I'm very glad I get to sit here and use a controller to do it myself. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying the save, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more. We are trying still to chase down Lando. He didn't win the last race. He finished 6th. I finished 7th. And the cat's just arrived from behind my monitor. Rolo makes a rare YouTube appearance. So we are going to try our best here at Singapore. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 Grand Prix left to try and claw back what is currently a 34-point gap to Lando Norris. Can it be done? Charles Leclerc is now only 2 points behind me and he's very much part of the championship fight as well. So we are really not far at all from the end of this season now. 2/3 of the way through and gaining on that Abu Dhabi season finale, where hopefully we will have something to fight for. She's powered away, something chronic. I'm going to go and just jump straight to track and get my practice done as quickly as possible. You know the scenario. We're chasing the World Drivers' Championship. Whether we can get there or not depends on how good I can be. Rolo at the wheel. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Meow. Practice maximised. Resource points we're not going to be able to spend in the bank. No sign of regulation changes yet, but I really don't think we'll be doing a Season 5 in this save. This is our last shot at winning the championship on F1 24. We have a Constructors in the bag. Thanks to our time at Ferrari last season, I would really like to win the drivers this year to round out this bumper season of F1 content on the second channel, but I can't promise anything as of yet. We are going to go into qualifying feeling competitive. The car feels decent, so I'm relatively happy at the moment with where the car is. I don't think we'll be challenging for pole, but I'd like to think that we will be more competitive than we were in a couple of the most recent qualifying sessions. So, fingers crossed, we can get the job done well today. Oh, yeah. Comfortably through. 125.5, P2 in Q1. We'll get through to Q3, I think, relatively comfortable, because that was a scrappy lap from me as well. We'll get through to Q2 pretty comfortably, but Q3 is going to be a challenge to qualify well, because they will make a step. And I was 1 millisecond off Max, but the fact that it was Max that's P1 tells you everything you need to know about the relative pace of the rest of that session, because obviously Max's car right now is only really good enough for him to be 9th or 10th in Q3. Sometimes not even making it to Q3. Both Sauber's out. Yuki last is a surprise because the RB's a decent car in this save right now. Checo 19th, Teo Pourchaire 18th, and that one shock with Yuki at the back. The rest is probably as you would have expected. This might be P2 or 3 again. P4. Okay. I think Charles did a 25.3. I did a 25.4 there, so I went 1/10 faster than the previous session. Yeah, 3 in the 25.3s. To be fair, I was only half a tenth off first place. But obviously in Q3, they'll all take a jump now, and I don't generally tend to be able to go with that jump. Nico Hülkenberg out. Piastri out in the McLaren is a bit of a surprise, though he hasn't been anywhere near his teammate pace-wise in recent Grand Prix. But everyone else you would expect to be through is through. Fernando Alonso up there in P2, Charles P1, Lando, Lewis, myself, George. Hopefully George can qualify a bit high. We'll probably swap. I'll probably be P8 and he'll probably be P4 in Q3. Let's go and find out. Alonso's just done a 24.9, I think that was. I think currently we are on for a better time. As it stands, I think we're on for pole. Oh, not a great end to the lap there. This might not be pole. 24.8 might be pole.
Fantastic, you've got
it is! On the back of a frustrating Baku, that's just what we needed. We will lead them away from the pole position here in Singapore. A Mercedes won 3 in qualifying, Charles only 4th, Lando only 5th. Just over a tenth faster than Fernando Alonso, 2 tenths on my teammate, 3 tenths on Charles and 4.5 tenths on Lando Norris. That is probably one of my best pole laps of my entire Formula 1 career. That is 2018 Lewis Hamilton-esque at Singapore. That's exactly what we need. Now what we need to do is convert that into a lights to flag win and fastest lap. Now, if those that weren't as fast as me, Charles and Lando, have grid penalties to take here as well, that would be amazing. I'm on pole. Alonso on my inside for turn 1 and turn 3. Russell then Leclerc. Lando then Stroll. And really, that's all we care about for the grid, isn't it? They're the only 2 drivers that are of any real concern for us right now. Ferraris we are concerned with as well, including Lewis Hamilton for the constructors. But it reckons medium, medium, soft. 23, 23, 16. What's everyone else starting on? Lots of mediums. 1 soft runner in Ollie Behrman. 2 in Teo Pourchaire. 3 in Yuki Tsunoda, but everyone else is on the mediums. Well, it recommends a medium, medium, soft. There's not too much difference between that and a medium, medium, hard, actually. So we'll see how far the mediums go. And we can always change to a medium, medium, hard on the fly if we feel like we need to. But we certainly have decent projected tyre wear, so we could maybe look to extend one, extend the other, if we feel like we need to. But seemingly, the default strategy is probably the best way for us to the end. Medium, medium, soft. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's get it done. Exactly 100 kilos of fuel and 8 laps of extra. We're going to burn through that very quickly. Well then, pulling into first position. We've not done this for a long time. I couldn't even tell you the last time I was on pole.
Okay, good parking there, mate.
Oh,
now we need to
cautious
make sure
parking.
We get a great launch as the race starts.
I'm going to take too many risks.
The start sequence will begin.
Everybody's pulling up at the back of the grid now, as you can see there. I am ready with the clutch. And here we go. From pole at Singapore. A little bit of wheel spin. Fernando's got the jump. Here comes the Ferrari Charles Leclerc as well, hoping to hold him out round here. And a squirt towards the next corner. Up the inside, hold on to P2. Chase after Fernando. Race starts have always been a weakness of ours. We're like last year's Lando Norris. Always tended to get quite a bit of wheel spin in the second phase. I get a decent initial getaway and then tend to get swamped, but happy enough to have only lost 1 position, provided we can stick with Fernando here. We'll have to wait a lap to find out what strategy is on, but I'm presuming almost everybody is going to be on a medium, medium, soft, or a medium, medium, hard. There is the potential likelihood that some might go medium, soft, hard, which would be certainly an option for some. But whether it works out for them in terms of outright race pace, I'm not sure. Fernando is a bit quick, actually, in these early stages. Might be running slightly lower on fuel, maybe, than ourselves. We certainly had the edge on him in quali, that's for sure. Try and get myself within
DRS
range if we can.
DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
We are going to be within DRS range just, I believe. We are indeed. That hopefully will keep us in touch.
You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible.
I'll find out what strategy Alonso's on in a moment, although there's not really... It's going to be hard to decipher because everyone's going to be on a two-stop. It's just a case of what sort of two-stop are they on, because the one-stop, whilst the one-stop is doable, medium-hard, it's really not very quick at all.
Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap, 1:31.6.
The question is, what tyres are they going on to when they do their two-stop? So it's a bit fruitless to keep asking what strategy those around us are on, because we kind of know. Everyone's going to be on a two-stop. It's just a case of what two-stop and when are they going to pit. If they pit slightly early, it means they're going to a hard. If they pit around when we do, it means they're going to a soft. Ultimately, it doesn't matter too much if Alonso gets away down the road, because all I really need to do is finish ahead of Lando and Charles. And Lando at the minute is not in the top 5. So that's fine. Charles is behind me in the championship, so as long as he's behind me in the race, we're definitely safe from him. And Lando is considerably ahead of both of us in the championship, but he's considerably back in the Grand Prix. I think Lando might even be as low as 8th right now. Tyre wear's pretty decent. Fernando is definitely quicker than me, though, at the moment. Fastest lap of the race, in fact. So we're definitely keeping Fernando honest. It's not flying. I did use quite a bit of battery that lap, but still. We're holding our own right now in P2. Just trying to ensure that Fernando doesn't get too far away. You'll notice the gap to Stroll in P5 has grown to 4 seconds. So the longer that continues, we're very, very happy indeed. Lando is, in fact, I think, genuinely running P8 right now. This is huge for the championship if we're able to come home in at least P2. Massive closing of the gap. Well, let's not count our chickens and get too far ahead of ourselves just yet. There is a lot of work to be done yet between now and the end of this race. Such a long Grand Prix, and we're only on lap 6 of 62. So anything can change. The only thing that isn't going to change is the weather. It is going to be dry throughout. Very much within DRS range of Fernando Alonso now. And I might just have pulled the gap on Charles Leclerc. Don't know whether this is our decent tyre wear coming into its own, or the fact that I'm just in the zone right now. I am going to check and see if Lance Stroll has any damage in P6, because he's dropping back quite considerably. And I think, yeah, Oscar Piastri must have taken grid penalties because he didn't qualify that lowly down in P18, but he's fallen from P18 to the very back. And the other McLaren is not having a great time of things right now. Confirmation that Lando Norris is P8, having dropped 3 places off the start. And does Lance Stroll have any damage? Not that we can visibly see. He's just not very quick. Fine by me. Hold everybody up, please, Lance. You're my best friend if you do. Yeah, we're really starting to get a tyre advantage now. Open up a gap of 2 seconds back to Charles Leclerc. He's not necessarily being threatened by George Russell, but he's definitely keeping him company. I could even, maybe, think about making a move for the lead. Just as the... Wow, great move. Just as the pit wall say, can you maybe try and take first? At the first opportunity, yes. This is our race to throw away right now. We are the fastest car on track. the most confident driver on track, with the best tyre wear, and hopefully the best strategy. Provided Fernando doesn't bring Charles Leclerc and George Russell back to us to make it a quartet, I'd be very confident right now of a strong victory here in Singapore. Barring, obviously, any red flag or safety car alterations to the way that the race might well pan out. Charles in DRS, I think. Pretty sure Charles Leclerc has DRS. It is going to become a quartet. Which is annoying, but it's manageable. Second lap in a row I've done that there. This is part of the reason why it's now a quartet. Just doesn't force my hand into an undercut, but it certainly encourages me. Not an undercut per se, because we're not necessarily undercutting anyone, but you know what I mean. It forces a slightly early pit stop to try and put in a lap or two of decent time on fresh tyres, to hopefully build a gap to be out of DRS range of those behind when we've all pit. That would be the aim. So I might box 21 rather than 23 to try and build a little bit of a gap and find the half a second I might need to come out of the pits, and when they come out of the pits, then be over a second behind me, and then hopefully we can maintain that gap, and then we can just call it from there as to whether we pit early onto a hard set for the final stint, or we go slightly longer onto a medium stint. Oh, sorry, onto a soft stint at the end, but we certainly could. We certainly could go medium hard or medium soft from here, and still put ourselves in a good position to win the race. I'd only really want to go to the softs in the next stint if it meant I could guarantee building a gap to those behind. If we were in a similar situation with a soft tyre and I was just dragging them along using my soft tyre pace, that's just going to help them, not me. So I think we're going to switch from a medium soft to a medium hard strategy, and I'll box on lap 20 rather than lap 22 or 3. We'll box significantly early and go for the alternative strategy. Right, some have boxed already. Obviously those that started on the softs will have needed to by this point, and Teo's actually gone soft. Soft medium for Behrman, soft medium for Tsunoda, but soft for Teo Pourchaire. Everyone else obviously still out on their medium tyres. I am going to box this lap on lap 20 and switch definitively to that medium hard strategy. What I need to know is where I'm going to come out of the pits positionally. And it says 17th, which is effectively just in front of those that have boxed off their softs, and behind those running at the back still on their mediums. So as long as I've got some fresh air, some clean track in front of me, uninterrupted, unobstructed track to try and power in a couple of lap times on brand new fresh mediums, hopefully we'll be in a position to break the DRS train behind us when we come out of when they come out of the pits, having had their pit stop. But I'm going to need a clean pit stop from my team here, please, which we definitely haven't. Oh, and Fernando's in behind me as well, so I think Fernando is also on a medium hard stint. They're all boxing behind me, okay, George included. No, George.
Go.
That's the double stop for Mercedes, unintentional. George is going to lose time. He's going to lose a lot of time here. I can't believe it. I told the team I was coming in. They should have told George to wait. Well, I don't get the undercut I wanted, and the pressure on me is going to continue from Fernando and co. Although we do maybe just have a gap that is more than DRS range. So it's a case of can I? Unlikely. Can I keep that gap above a second? There are yellow flags around. Ollie Behrman is out. Ollie's retiring. I do not need... We do not need... Oh my god, a safety car now would kill us. That's Carlos Sainz. Ollie Behrman's in a Red Bull. Where are you, Ollie? Is that Max? Number 64, that's Ollie Behrman. He's just going slowly at the end of the pit straight. That shouldn't bring out any sort of safety car, I don't think. If it does, be absolutely gutted. I think there might be 2 yellow flags out at the minute. One for Ollie Behrman and one somewhere else later in the circuit. Regardless, Alonso is still very much in DRS range of me. So the plan to undercut hasn't worked there, meaning that we will have to undercut even sooner to go to the hard tyre. So I anticipated them to do 21 to 23 laps. They equalled me and did 20. George is stuck in traffic now. Leclerc... I'm not sure if Leclerc boxed as well, or is this... No, this is Leclerc now. So we have got a bit of an undercut on Leclerc. So the Ferrari that was... The Ferrari that boxed last lap would have been Lewis Hamilton. So Charles Leclerc is going to come out in that traffic, ahead of that traffic, I think. But George, because of the unintentional, unexpected double stack, George is stuck behind Perez, Ocon and Zhou Guanyu. So we're going to be a front 3, and then George will be battling now to try and hold off those behind him rather than concentrating on the 3 of us in front. That's killed the double Mercedes podium, but the chance for a Mercedes win is still there. So you can see by the gap to Leclerc now being 4.2 seconds that we really genuinely could, had our plan of undercutting by a lap or 2 on Alonso and co behind, had we actually been able to pull that off and they hadn't all pit behind me, we would genuinely have opened up a bit of a gap with the fresher tyres. It just, unfortunately, so happens that George and Alonso boxed behind me at the same time, unexpectedly. I thought we were getting an undercut in, we weren't.
You're catching the car ahead by a couple of seconds a lap now, really good.
Yeah, we're going to be catching those in front very, very quickly indeed. They'll be boxing at the end of this lap, I believe. Max now the fastest man on circuit. No, Lando now the fastest man on circuit. Could really do with Lando not getting the extra point for fastest lap, but he's stuck in so much traffic right now. Lando is not getting a good race result today, barring a safety car and a change up in the order as a result of. This is exactly what we needed to try and close down Lando Norris in the Drivers' Championship. The fight for the title may well be very much right back on. Yep, they're all in front. Oh, not all in front, actually. I just hit the fastest lap and then Alonso took it away from me immediately. Sainz and Gasly, I'm sure they're not one-stopping. They must just be extending their stint a little bit. I will ask, but
Sainz ahead. Okay, so gap to the car
you'd have thought Sainz
3.2
wouldn't
seconds.
need to have given way. No, the other Haas is in, so they're probably just avoiding.
They've got one more stop.
Oh, they are one-stopping. They are one-stopping. Sainz and Gasly throwing caution to the wind and one-stopping this Singapore Grand Prix medium to hard. We will have to overtake them on track to get the job done. That could well earn them a very good finish. It also might be the entirely wrong strategy, but I think it might be the latter, unfortunately for them. But why not throw something alternative out there when you know that you're if you just match everyone else, you're not going to make any places. Relatively straightforward overtake. Excuse me, Carlos. If you could hold up Fernando, that'd be amazing. Do me a favour now, Carlos, please, and sit in his way. I'm going to go and get Gasly. You keep him back. Oh, Carlos. You beauty. You absolute god, Carlos Sainz. Over a second already. Never mind, he's through. Didn't take Fernando that long. Has opened up a nice gap though, and has brought Charles Leclerc onto the back of Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc will have DRS now. If I can lose minimal time getting past Gasly, and Gasly can hold Fernando up the same way that Carlos did, I'll be very, very happy indeed. Charles Leclerc now takes the fastest lap of the race. I think it's unlikely that we get that fastest lap point at this moment in time. I'd much rather get the 25 points for the win and let someone else have the fastest lap point. I wouldn't mind if it's my teammate George Russell, to be completely honest, who now leads that train. So everybody but Carlos Sainz and Gasly have now boxed. George is now P6, but he's effectively a net P4, which is basically where he was previously anyway. Lando is now P9, but technically a net P7. And we are past Gasly. I had to get it done. I couldn't wait any longer. I couldn't sit behind him for this whole end part of the lap. I had to get it done. Fernando will close up, but if I'd had to sit behind him and wait any longer, then Leclerc would have significantly closed, and that we can't afford.
Nice work, you smashed it.
Come on, boys. We're going to box about lap 39 to go on to hard tyres to the end. That's the current plan. So we're nearly halfway through this stint already. Lots of fastest laps changing hands now as Max Verstappen takes it away from George Russell. Max Verstappen is right behind George Russell and challenging right now. And Fernando is through against Pierre Gasly behind. So order restored at the front. Wood P1, Alonso P2, and very soon to be Leclerc P3 as well. So Fernando Alonso is stuck like glue to the back of me throughout the whole of this stint. Charles has come from 4 seconds back to make it under 2.5 now, and I am boxing this lap. I don't think they're going to box until 40 or 41. I'm boxing now for the hard tyres to the end of the race. And we hope that we'll come out in P1
Come on. That was a fantastic
after the pit stops,
faster than we were expecting,
and be able to maintain ourselves the lead of the race. If I can come out between the Ferrari and the Aston, I'll be very happy. Between Hamilton and Stroll would suit down to the ground. I have to get to this line very quickly.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled.
Please
pit
get me
stops.
out ahead of these guys. I don't think I'm quite going to make it, am I? I'm going to come out in the middle of them. Oh, I very nearly had my nose chopped off by Alex Albon there. That's frustrating. That's going to cost us time comparatively to Alonso and co when they pit, because I'm stuck in traffic now. That might change the outcome of this race.
Right, we need to get past here.
I either needed to be in front of Stroll or 4 or 5 seconds off the back of Albon. I'll try and get past as quickly as I can, but I'm going to be losing my chance of a big undercut here for time. Alonso is in. I'm going up the inside of Albon. I can't waste any time. Alonso's in, Leclerc is not. So Alonso on 40. Leclerc went a little bit longer last time anyway. Leclerc might go to a 41. George is in this lap too.
George is in the pits. He's in the
Ricciardo's
pits now.
in as well, so that's one less car for me to have to overtake here. Stroll in front of me now.
Keep an eye on that gap ahead,
Can I come out in front of
7,
Alonso? The answer is going to be
0
yes, thankfully. He's going to have to make his way through. Alex Albon as well. We've got a gap of... Wow, really made a lot of time. Even though we were stuck in traffic. Opened up 4 seconds on Fernando in just one lap.
Okay, mate. Lap times are a little erratic
That's
at the moment.
how
Let's try and close up the
strong
difference between them.
a fresh hard is compared to the really worn mediums. So we're now back into P3. Leclerc leads 23 seconds down the road. Verstappen 11 seconds down the road. I imagine Leclerc is going to box this lap.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now.
And we are going
Everything's
to the
looking
end
good.
on this set. That gap to Fernando is going to... I wonder, is Stroll... I don't know. Stroll boxed relatively early, though. I'm sure Stroll will box again. He's not going to go one stop from lap 21 to the end on these hards. I envisage him going to the soft tyre at the end. But I will ask about the strategy of the car behind. And my stop... Alonso had a poor stop. Look, 2.5 second stop for me. A 6 second stop for Fernando. So we opened up a 3.5 second gap just in the pits. That's why the gap to Fernando is as big as it is. Leclerc is in at the end of 41, as we anticipated. We're officially 2/3 of the way through this race now. Leclerc is going to come out. I set the fastest lap of the race. Leclerc is going to come out considerably down. Verstappen was in the pits as well, so we lead again. Leclerc's come out ahead of Alonso? No, behind Alonso. Now, hopefully, Leclerc is close enough to Alonso that they're going to fight. Which might well mean, if they do, I can just kind of peace out in front. If that is the case, you might not see much of me between now and the end of the race. I hope that's the case. It's half a second at the minute, though. Alonso is definitely faster than Leclerc in outright pace, I think. But Leclerc with DRS at 3 times a lap is going to be able to certainly keep tabs on him. Annoyingly, I think Lando's P6 now. Right on the back of George Russell, and Albon still to box. So Lando could yet make it into 5th, and maybe even, if he's able to get George, 4th as well, which would dramatically reduce the amount of which we would close in on Lando with a race win. If Lando was going to finish in the 7th or 8th he was in, this would have been massive for us. It's still going to be pretty sizable, but it could have been a 20-point gain, whereas it's probably more likely going to be closer to a 10-point gain. Yellow flag, Max Verstappen has spun or is retiring. He spun. No retirement. No retirement. Which is key.
Okay, don't
Red
worry
flag.
about that target for now. We can work on
He's just sat. He's sat in the middle of the track, so people have come round. You can see on the minimap as I unpause here very quickly. We are all going to be putting on a soft, brand new set of tyres for the final stint. This lap would have been the lap we would have stopped on had we gone medium, medium, soft. And I'm certain that switching to the soft tyre here for the restart, which will be in a couple of laps' time for a 14-lap stint, is absolutely the right way to go. We will be soft sprinting to the end in this Singapore Grand Prix, which is going to throw our win into question. It's also going to bring Lando Norris back into the hunt for potentially a podium and lessen our potential gain on him by even more. Balls. God damn you, Max Verstappen. What would be cool is if you could drive back to the pits under the red flag manually, rather than it just auto take you there. Similarly, at the end of the race, if you could do the cool down lap yourselves and then pull into the pits and pull into Parc Fermé, that'd be pretty cool as a nice addition.
But this is a chance to take
We're absolutely going to be taking the softs.
Race to go, and there's still a big opportunity there.
Absolutely going to be taking the soft set. But worn mediums, worn hards, or a brand new set of softs for 14 laps. Brand new set of softs, please. The race will restart on lap 49, meaning there is just 14 laps to go.
Right.
And everyone else is going to be on softs as well. Game on. Lots of wheel spin. It's tight through turn 1. We've held the lead. Oh, Leclerc has gotten Russell. Alonso. Sorry, Leclerc. Alonso has been taken by Russell and Leclerc, is what I'm trying to say. Norris is still P5. We lead. It will mean that we shouldn't have any fuel concerns now between now and the end of the race, I hope. But we may still see some fuel concerns at the end of the race. We're certainly going to see some potentially getting overtaken by people behind us concerns. This is not going to be an easy final 14-lap stint, especially if I have to save fuel at some point as well. 0.97 as we cross the line with 10 laps to go. We will gauge what it is at the end of this lap, and that will tell us how much we're using and whether we need to worry about it or not. So I've pushed for this lap to give us a figure. We're using 0.14 a lap. With 9 laps to go, that is 1.26 laps worth of fuel. I need to save 0.4 laps worth of fuel. I don't think we win this race now. I don't think I can save that amount of fuel and still win this Grand Prix. I'll try my damnedest, but it's going to be very, very, very tough. Backing up the pack like crazy at the minute. Just going really slow through parts where I know they can't get past me. Saving battery for the bits where they've got DRS and could get past me. And hoping that we'll save enough fuel to make it to the end. When we cross the line, we will have 6 laps to go. I'm still going to have to save fuel every lap, I believe, to stand a chance of winning this Grand Prix and making it to the end without going into low fuel mode. Low fuel mode cost us a couple of positions in Australia last season. Might even have been this season in the Mercedes, actually. Can't recall. I cannot afford to throw away a win, not with Lando in P5. I need this win. I need these points. Need to save fuel. 3 laps to go. Worn tyres. Vultures behind me. Saving at the minute, I believe, just enough fuel. So we can make it to the end. I think if I continue to save fuel for the race, for the entirety of the rest of the race. But can I keep them behind? Because they will make a last lap charge for sure with lots of battery. Maybe even the last 2 laps they'll just lunge at me. It's only really here and Monaco that I could get away with this. Or get away with trying it anyway. We need to save. We have been saving laps. Will have been saving laps if we get to the end of the race, we will have been saving fuel for 10 laps or so, whilst trying to lead the race and keep those behind. 2 laps to go. Now their charge will properly come. I've got 0.3 laps worth of extra fuel. I think I'm going to be able to have enough to push full out, push full throttle for the final lap and a quarter-ish. But I'm not going to take any risks. Not going to push too soon. The last thing I need is to save fuel for 9 laps rather than 9.5 and end up still not making it to the end. But this has been a very intense final few laps. Charles Leclerc's had a couple of looks, but nothing has been too obvious for him because we've been able to manage the gap as best we can into the important parts of the track with the usage of battery and car positioning on track. It's going to be really close. It's going to be really close. I might still have to save a little bit of fuel on the final lap just to make sure. I don't want to take any risks. Final lap of the race. Here comes Charles having a look. Lando still P5. No position changes behind us that I'm aware of at the minute. Still myself, Leclerc, Russell, Alonso, Norris. And Albon, I think, P6. My fuel light is flashing at me. Oh God, please make it to the end, Ches. .16 laps worth of fuel. I think we can make it by pushing flat out from here. I'm pretty sure we can make it by pushing flat out from here. This is the last DRS zone before the end of the lap. And with the battery, we're going to maintain it. This is the last real overtaking opportunity before the end of the lap. And we're going to maintain it. I've got 0.12 laps worth of fuel to get me around the final 2 corners. As for the first time in what feels like forever and what really is forever, we win a Grand Prix.
On to the next one.
I had to save fuel for 10 laps at the end there. That was reminiscent of the podium push in the Ferrari a couple of seasons ago. We were able to hold off Max Verstappen for a P3 in the end. Then we were able to hold off Charles Leclerc for a P1 here. That is one of the best victories of our entire Grand Prix career. With Lando Norris in 5th, we will close on him significantly in the championship. He will get 8 points, I believe, for 5th, and I get 26 points for the win, and I think we held the fastest lap as well. Indeed, we did. Orlando gets 10 points, that's annoying. So we will close on Lando by 16. We were 34 behind. We will now be 18 behind. So if we can do that a couple more times, it will swing in our favour once more. But with plenty of Grand Prix to go, still 7 races plus 2 sprints, at least 2 sprints, if not 3 sprints, and the next Grand Prix weekend being a horrible one for me. I am never, ever, ever any good around COTA. Lando hasn't won for 2 Grand Prix. We brought home a P1. 18 points to go. We've got a 10-point lead over Charles Leclerc now. Last year at COTA, I finished 8th. The year before at COTA, I finished 7th. Whereas Lando last year was 6th at COTA, and the year before Lando was 8th at COTA. So Lando's not as good at COTA either, it seems. What a win. What a vitally important win. Our first since Canada. Our first win for 10 Grand Prix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our first win for 9 Grand Prix. Huge. And what a time to get it. We know we're strong in Vegas. We know we're strong in Qatar. We hope to be strong enough in some of the other Grand Prix as well. But, USA, Mexico, Brazil, Portimao is not going to be good for me. We needed the win in Singapore, and we got the win in Singapore. The title race is back on, and it's a huge potential swing if we can do that again somewhere else. Thank you very much for watching. Do you believe? Let me know in the comment section down below. I don't know whether I do or not. That's all for this Grand Prix weekend, though. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.